You are not your failures. You are not your traumas. You are not the bad things that have happened to you. You are not your mistakes. If you are struggling to overcome some sort of failure with your life, join the club. So am I. And I think many of us are. And there are many people, especially in the era post-coronavirus, who are dealing with setbacks, people who've lost their jobs, people whose companies went out of business, people who were forced to take a prolonged leave of absence to go care for children. We're all in the same boat, and it hurts. But if you continue to think of yourself as the person who lost, then you're less likely to get out there and take the steps that you need to sharpen your skills and become the person who wins in the future. We have all made mistakes in the past. Everybody makes mistakes. I made mistakes. You made mistakes. We all make mistakes. Dwelling on those mistakes keeps us mired in the past. And if we allow our thought patterns to swirl down the dark spiral, then we're going to remain rooted in those mistakes. Sometimes the lesson may be far out of proportion to the pain of the event. It might be a very minor lesson for a hugely painful event, and that is something that we simply have to accept. Take what lessons we can from those painful experiences and take a deep breath. Calm ourselves, forgive the people who've wronged us, and move on. Set our sights on a new and brighter future. It often happens that people who have survived traumatic experiences begin to think of themselves as victims. We all have been through traumatic experiences of some kind or another. There is no benefit to comparing our traumas. I've had traumatic experiences. You've had traumatic experiences. What matters is that we learn to move on from those traumatic experiences. What matters is that we learn to see ourselves as survivors, not victims. We need to learn to see ourselves as people who have agency moving forward. And I'm not talking about agency to go out and get revenge for the trauma that you have survived. I'm talking about agency to move on from your traumatic experience and find a better way to live your life in the future. What we really need to do is think of ourselves in a new light. You are not your failures. You are not your traumas. You are not the bad things that have happened to you. You are not your mistakes or whatever you may have done in the past. You are this person with a huge potential to become such an amazing person in the future.